Caleb Driggers and Junior Nogara.
Not much more to say about them, man. They're incredible. Legendary status when they're both younger than me. I mean, it's been fun to watch. It's a pain in the neck to deal with, but it's fun to watch.
Rodeo time. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, catch up on all the old episodes, and check out the latest. You're going to like it. Welcome back to the Luke Branquinho Show. My next guest, I like to say, is the sweet to my tart, the rainbow to my Skittles. I used some other ones in the last show he was on because he has been a guest on the show. And I thought, let's bring Coleman Proctor back, and we're going to talk about this year's rodeo and how you kind of were dragging your hind butt ass. We say ass, dragging your ass, and then boom, go to Sioux Falls. What are we in the top 5 now?
Just outside of it. I mean, that's not how I would characterize it exactly, but I guess that's one way you could look at it, Luke. No, it's great to see you again. Thanks for having me back. I love your show.
Tanner Tomlinson, Patrick Smith. This is a team that is pretty dang tough. You got like a young kid and old wily veteran.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
That's
Patrick
what I want.
Really good behind him last year, and I don't know how to say this politically correct. I think the world of Patrick and this and that, but you knew Tanner would do a good job. Like he really just felt like if he was riding the roan of Coy Romans, you knew he would do a great job. But what was the most impressive thing? It wasn't Tanner's performance because he's been doing that for years. You know what I mean? Like you expected that. How good Patrick Smith heeled him behind him and how he got the rope tight so fast, got their finish good for him. It was very impressive to see Patrick Smith. It was like Patrick Smith 3.0 last year. You know what I'm saying? It was awesome. And
well, that was it. It's funny you bring that up because that was a question, just in the rodeo world, the conversation in other events, is Patrick fast enough? Is he, and he had been when he was younger, but he's older, no offense to older people.
Well, and you know how it is. Like, heck, you go out there enough, you have bad finals, and it was just kind of had his style been a little bit past already. Right, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Was he a great point? Like, is he going to be fast enough? Is he going to slam the door shut? Because everybody wants this belief that you get some guy in front of you that throws it fast, and then you can just seal the deal and shut it down, Speed Williams, Rich Skelton style. And that is just so far from the truth anymore, Right. Now you've got all the headers going fast and all the heelers going fast, and they all catch. I mean, they're all consistent. And that was a great question that I thought he answered beautifully last year. I mean, that guy, like when we started out and we were in contention with that average race, and this is a competitor, the competitor in me, right? This isn't politically correct. This is just the competitor in me. Like I kept waiting. I knew that Patrick would probably stub his toe and we would have that'd be our opening to get through the door.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because the way that Tanner was in such a rhythm, that was, I thought, the only chance of a weak spot. And then, Patrick Smith just kept slamming it shut. And so at the end of the week, it was like, man, tip of the hat, like great job. You know what I mean? Yeah. Then I stubbed my toe. You know what I mean? Like looking for the opening to get past. So,
okay. So not to interrupt you, but
all I'm going to compliment to Patrick. I don't want to sound
for sure. Just and I know that you don't, but I, even as a competitor myself back in the day before I retired and became a team roper, I would, if I was in that type of hunt and I was like, okay, this is where they're going to stub their toe. Guess who usually stubbed their toe?
Right. I saw it last year myself.
Yeah. So this is where you, because you're on my fantasy team or will be, I want you focused on your business, not theirs.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Charge the front, hit the barrier, catch them. But look, anyway, next. Eric Rogers, Paul Leaves. I mean, this is kind of a veteran team right here.
Veteran team, and Eric Rogers, Rodeo Rogers is maybe the best header to Thomas and Mack, and he can ride 18 different horses and he's still the best one. He has the weirdest, like if he gets hung up in the wall, have you ever noticed this? He's going to slide his rope up his horn. I've tried that in the practice pen. I've almost cut like my wrists off. I don't get how he does it. And then Paul Eves bought that amazing heel horse from Cole Davidson. I don't know if he won horse of the year or second. I think he won second, but amazing heel horse. And those two have a good chemistry. Like they've been second partners dating back years ago.
Right.
Man, I saw Rogers over there at the NFR last week. He looks pretty sharp.
Yeah, he's hard to bet against. Ren Richard, or Richard. It depends if you want Cook or Koch, whatever. Ren Richard and Jeremy Bueller, another kind of veteranish team that's been there, done that.
Absolutely. I mean, Ren, they were the world leaders for so long. Yeah. They had such a great winter. I didn't really get to see him a whole lot in the summer and the fall, but that Ren's gonna be riding a great horse. And another guy that's got fast hands, and he's just very efficient. Bueller, when he got that horse from Bucky Campbell, man, that made a huge difference in his game. And they're another team. They just got a great run that happens in a great part of the arena. They'll have a big week. But
are they a go-round type team? Or are they more of like,
I would call them like they're going to win. They're going to win deep and average.
Right.
Been a couple years ago, man, they got hot and bam, bam, bam. Like every round, their top 2 or 3 just boom, boom, boom.
Right.
And then they went from like 80,000 back to all of a sudden have a chance to win a world title. So you can't call them not a go-round team. I mean, they're just consistently fast. I mean, it's going to be fun to watch.
And now it's time for Ask Luke. One of our viewers asked the question, what made you decide to retire? To hear the answer, you're going to have to stay tuned, keep watching the show, because I will answer it a little bit later. All right, the next scene we talked about, Coleman Proctologers, Logan Medlin, we got that one. Okay.
That's Proctor like a doctor, Luke. I was going to be one, but it took too many years, so I married one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, smart man. Dustin and Levi.
That'll be a fun combination this year. So Dustin, when he's been in Thomas & Mack, he's been roping with Travis Graves. Travis's route through the turn, okay, is it's different. Like it's kind of, he doesn't get to the end of it as much. And so Dustin would kind of run out of some room and he'd get trying to come back to the corner too early. And that would kind of make them go longer. And then when it did work, like they were fast, but that would also give him the opportunity to, like, he would hang it on him so fast and then be up in the corner, and then TG gets them. And then, like it would make their time just long enough that the rest of the field, like me, could catch them.
Right.
And so what's interesting this year is the way that Levi runs the route, if he can get to the end of it fast enough, and he has got a little loop, and when it hits the feet, it's tight and it's game over, done. I don't know what Dustin's going to ride. I don't know if he rides the Clay Logan horse of his brother's that he rode out there the last couple of years. Honestly, it don't really matter because they go 3-4 on everything he's got. So I don't know. That's going to be a fun one to watch. And Levi Lore's done an amazing job with Thomas & Mack every time he's been there.
Yeah.
So, but he's always been behind Junior D. So I don't know. Those are two different style headers. And so it's going to be fun to watch those guys, though, at San Antonio and stuff. It's just hard to compare the national finals to any regular season rodeo. Sure. Does that make sense? Because the steers are so different. Like, we go to short setups all the time, but the steers are what makes the difference. These big Mexican steers that they have that push and run, and their hips really travel down the end of it. It takes a lot more horsemanship on the head side. It takes setting the corner a lot better. And then as a healer, it takes a lot of patience and running the correct route every night.
Nelson Wyatt, Jonathan Torres. Now, this is Jonathan's second NFR, correct?
Right, yeah. Last year over Lightning Aguilera.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you, this is going to be fun. I don't know. This is Nelly's first trip to Vegas. So, Nelson's done an amazing job all year. Actually gets left out of San Antonio and then picked up late, and then that lit him on fire. He roped with Justin Davis. San Antonio wins a bunch. Houston wins a bunch. Kind of set his whole year up.
That was crazy.
Yeah. And he didn't, and he was out of it. That's what was crazy. He tried to enter the San Antonio qualifier, and they said, no, you're in the rodeos. So then he does the San Antonio qualifier. And they're like, no, you didn't get in the rodeo. And then it's too late for him to enter the rodeo. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just the weirdest set of circumstances. And then he wins the NFR Open with Tyler Worley. Like, he has won a bunch with different guys. Nelson Wyatt can go fast, as good as anybody. He's like a Dustin Egaskiza. Great horses. It's going to be interesting because I haven't seen those two guys rope together much. I don't know if they have roped together a whole lot. So it'll be interesting.
Well, I know watching Nelson, especially at some of those WCRA events, pressure don't bother him.
Absolutely. No, nothing bothers him, man. You ought to play golf with him. Him and I tried on Dustin Egaskiza and Levi Lord at Reno, maybe last year, maybe this year, sometime. And he's a gamer, man. Like, he's the kind of guy that when you got the 6-foot putt for 200, his knees don't shake, right? And he's walking in behind it. So you got to love that in a guy. I do. I personally love that.
Confidence.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of confidence, this veteran team, and I could remember I was young when this healer made it. the last time. Then I don't know where he went, but okay, Coulter Todd.
Coulter Todd, you bet. Coulter Todd went back and raised a family. And it was so cool. Coulter Todd is the standard of if we're going to quit rodeo, right? Because I remember the winter he was going to quit. And he was going home. And I said, oh, you'll go to Houston and then next year because you got to be qualified. He's like, well, it's not really quitting if you still go to those rodeos. And he went home. That was it. Done.
And now it's time for Ask Luke. One of our viewers asked the question, what made you decide to retire? Well, what made me decide to retire was my body. It said it's time to retire. It actually probably said it 3 years prior to retirement, and I just didn't listen. But after 4 surgeries in a row, from about 2017 to 2021, I was in a hospital getting worked on, and Lindsay was my nurse. And, I think my body was trying to tell me something, but I finally listened after 2021.
Coulter's a cool dude. He's got a daughter, and of course, he's going to have 3 of them now. We talk philosophy on raising daughters and stuff all the time. Last year, he cracks out, and they win San Angelo, him and Derek, right? And then they rodeoed, but not, they rodeoed decently hard, I guess you'd say. And then this year turns back around. They do it again, obviously gets it done. Coulter's a really good cowboy, and he's got some really good horses. He got on some different horses. He was riding Paul Lee's Tongue River horse there for a while. I really like the bay he's got, and he's got the buckskin that he rode at Pendleton. So the buckskin's what he started on, and that's what he won San Angelo on and all that. You want to say, of course, Derek Begay, greatest. I think he's one of the greatest headers of my generation. Definitely to not win a gold buckle, but I think you just put him in. He's one of the greatest headers of my generation. We're the same age-ish. He's actually a little older than me. I learned that this weekend. I didn't know that. Anyways, man, that sorrel he's got hauling noodles across the line. Like I was standing on the box, like I was standing on the ground next to the box this weekend. He was at the NFR. And that horse was rolling. And so you and I both know, like when the horses look good, it's hard to bet against the man. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he's always had one of the fastest deliveries, I thought, and just gets them legal quick. It'll be interesting to see how Coulter handles the other side of the ball out there. Obviously, he's had a lot of success in Vegas heading.
On the head,
it's different, man. It's a different route. It's something you see you don't see a lot of first-time healers do great. You know what I'm saying? There can be an opportunity for them to struggle. Does that make sense? Now, I think where he will do great is the fact he's seen it from the other side of the ball so much that's no surprise to him. So he has a potential, I think, to be one of the first-time NFR healers, like a Coleman that goes out there, wins the world his first time, because he's already seen it from that side of the ball, and he knows what to expect. When you're out there heading for a guy, where, like, this is all I can do with this steer because of the momentum he's carrying, because of everything that's happening. Where the route's going to be headed. So
yeah, but you said it already.
To be that header, and then to be on the other side of it, to get that appreciation.
You said it because back then those steers were different than they are now.
Right. That's a good point. I guess that's my biggest thing is, wondering how he will, because when they win San Angelo, obviously he can throw fast and he can be ready fast, but it's just such a different look of how those steers push on the end of it and how big they are when they come around it. You can't replicate it. I buy steers every year to practice for it, and it's close, but it's not the same.
Well, I think as well as I do, the intensity and the energy in that building. You could take the steers you practiced on and run them in that building, and they're going to be different than how you ran them at your house. Just the energy and electricity and the feel of that building. Okay, Caleb.
Yeah, but I say that to say this: like, they could be. Everybody's expecting them to do good, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to have anything to do with rope, and I think they really can. And I look for them to do good. And I think Coulter could be very successful out there.
Yeah. Yeah. You said that again.
Okay.
Are we done with
I
that?
just hate sounding. Okay, here's my deal. I'm not Joe Beaver, man. I can't break people down because honestly, Joe Beaver has 8 gold buckles and he can do that. I have 0 gold buckles. I can't validate that point, right? I can give you observation. I can give you observation, but in no way do here is the beat all to know all. This is what I expect. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, well, I don't have a gold buckle, so who am I to say? You know what I mean?
I hear you.
That's my disclaimer when you start asking my opinion.
All right. Caleb Driggers and Junior Nogara.
Yeah. Not much more to say about them, man. They're incredible. Legendary status when they're both younger than me. It's been fun to watch. It's a pain in the neck to deal with, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
I guess the biggest thing about the question marks you're going to have is what Driggers rides.
Well, that's what I was going to say. What horsepower?
Well, because the horse he got from Jeff Flanagan, I don't know how sound that one is, and he might be completely sound. I don't know, but he doesn't ride him a whole lot, and that's 10 hard days out there. So, but he has another one he got from Jason Stewart that looked pretty good, and he'd gotten a horse the other day it looked like from Jake Cooper. So, he's got options, obviously. Depends what style they rope. I look for them to be more aggressive. Didn't you think last year they come in $100,000 to the lead or whatever it was, crazy? And they you could tell they were just like, let's just go knock something down the average and be done with this deal, right?
Yeah.
And then kind of made it hard on themselves.
Yeah.
Now, you can't criticize what they did because when you go back to back with a gold buckle and you've led the season all year, that's undisputed champion. But, they could have came out and just fired off 3 or 4 rounds in a row, win a second or third, game over. And they didn't. And then they drew the worst steer on the steer that I kept telling you that we were going to avoid all week. Right. And you were like, we don't talk like that. I'm like, okay, right. But I'm just saying we're not rolling 7 right here. You know what I mean? And they draw that sucker in the short round and in the 10th round had to catch him. If it pops it off, which would have been very easy to do, they don't win the world title. So be interesting to see kind of what style they rope. They're so fast. They're consistent. They're incredible, but they're also beatable. So I'm looking forward to that.
All right, number one.
3 Wade.
We're not going to say this. We're not going after them. We're going after that buckle.
That's right. Right. Pole position's all we're about. So 30,000 is what we're behind.
Right.
Tyler Wade's actually your number 2 header in the world.
That's
number
right.
1.
Yeah, because
the money works out.
Yeah. Time for some more rodeo trivia. In steer wrestling, what is the term of the horse that helps the steer wrestler keep the steer running straight? To hear the answer, you're going to have to stay tuned, keep watching the show, because I will answer it a little bit later.
T-Wade's been one of the rankest headers of the Thomas and Mack for about the last 4 years. And it's ever since he kind of leveled his swing off, comes over the gate with it more, doesn't swing over his left shoulder as much. Like I used to be sitting there watching, I'd have my hands up on the box like this, and like he'd clip your fingers with his swing. So even to this day, like at other rodeos, I get back. But out there, he started swinging more over the chute, and I'm telling you, got to
like getting his tip level, getting his tip leveled off.
Kind of more going. Yep, kind of more going to the cow. And the early years when he rode like the paint and stuff, he'd have it a little too cocked off to the left, and it just happens so fast. Like people don't understand that. Like the start we take, it's a World Series barrier, but you're 16 feet instead of 24 from him. So when you get a good start, he is right here. And, as a reacher, you're accustomed to being able to you bring your tip up too much anyways to try to cover all this out here.
Right.
And in reality, it's like, oh, there he is. So when T-Wade made that little transition and he got that bay he's got, I love. Man, he can do some special things. And now he's got Wesley Thorpe, world champ, great horses, gets tight really fast. He's a very smart healer. He's a very efficient healer. So, and that's not a knock at any of the guys that T-Wade's headed for before at the finals, because they've had great finals. But if he can show up and do T-Wade things this trip, they're going to have a great chance to reserve world title behind your man.
My man. I like where your head is.
That's right. Well, that's what we're after, and I think that's something that's cool getting to hang out with you is like, that's where the focus is. Like, that's why we're headed out there. That's why I get up and I've bought $25,000 worth of steers and I've got over here at this indoor arena. We got the arena built. I mean, that's what we're after, man. Like
and at cattle prices now, that's only like 10 head.
Yeah, we got 12 steers and a goat that we're practicing on for the next 6 weeks.
Does the goat have the big curly
spiral? Big horn goat. Big horn goat.
And his feet are real wide. He hops.
Hey, will you tell me about the guy winning the world in the Bulldogging? Let's talk Bulldogging just a little bit. I don't know how much more time you want.
Who is winning the world in the Bulldogging?
Dalton Massey.
I'm a team roper now, Coleman. I don't pay attention to that stuff.
That's a good point.
Dalton Massey, that guy has been a stud for years.
Well, you told me that. You said way back when. I said, who is this kid? And you were like, oh, man, he's Bulldog great for a long time.
Yeah.
Pressure doesn't bother him. Nothing bothers him.
No, his granddad, Sid Britt, has been a staple up in the Northwest, having horses, Sid Bulldogged, just from that type of family. But Sid was had Trevor Knowles hanging out with him a lot. Like Sid hazed for Trevor at the finals. So when Dalton was a kid, they'd go and practice at Sid's, and Trevor was there. And if you watch Dalton Massey and then take a video of Trevor Knowles and put them side by side, there's a lot of similarities there. So that kid learned from one of the very best. You talk about
absolutely
guys that have, Derek McGay not having a gold buckle and being one of the greatest of your generation. That's Trevor Knowles.
100%. And grab a guitar and write a song right now.
And as he's bulldogging. But so Dalton finally just got it kicked off. Like horsepower was key for him. He got on a good horse that let him hit the barrier, had good hazing on the other side. That, the year before, or not this year, last year, Dalton made the short round at a lot of rodeos, but he maybe got a haze or 7 missed at those short rounds, or he probably would have made the finals last year too. So yeah, he's just, I don't see much bothering him. He's going to go out there. He's with a great group of guys, got good horsepower, and he's going to get after it. So I'm
what have you heard about Pearson? Has Pearson got his hazing horse back, or does he?
Yeah, Metallica's back. He's sending Metallica out with Clayton Haas. Clayton's going to use Metallica for bins, and then I could see him picking up a couple other hazes.
So Pearson's not going out there.
Pearson said, I'm going to go out there and team rope at the World Series and let them make money at the NFR at Thomas and Mack for me.
That sounds like a great plan, honestly. I think it's a bad idea.
Yeah. I mean, one thing you're going to go make money at Thomas Mack, but
I love, there's just that group of hazers out there. I loved getting to talk to Clayton Haas about I love talking to him about hazing for different horses, different people, talking about when he picks up a haze for Ty, whenever Ty's riding Crush, when he picks up, when he's hazing for Benz, and it's wheel riding him, you know what I mean? Versus when Dakota obviously rode him before he got on Tyson. And yeah, there's so much that happens out there, and then you see your core group of hazers, you know what I mean? Out there every time. Like Remy, I think Remy is a great hazer.
Oh yeah. Remy does an awesome job.
And then, you got Clayton. And then who else are we going to see? Because I think we don't put enough importance of like who the hazers on that side of the ball is going to be. And I tell you what I very much appreciate about Bulldoggers, y'all will switch like that. And nobody gets mad. Nobody's like, hey, man, I came all the way out here, brought my family. Like, no, it's business. And they want to see you win just as bad as you want to win, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So who will be hazing on the other side of Tyson this year? Like when Jesse Brown walks in. Jesse's usually my guy, right? Well, that's what I was wondering. But
Tanner
was he hurt
too? Tanner, I think he got banged up. He tore his pec right before Calgary, or had surgery right around Calgary time.
Because he didn't know if he'd be back for the Canadian finals, right?
Right. And I don't know if he is or not. Curtis broke his leg or his arm. I think he broke his arm. But
that's
Tanner's
a difference.
back. Yeah. Well, I mean, one you walk on, the other you. Anyway, I don't think Curtis is going to be back. So Tanner, I believe, is hazing for his horse and Tyson, and I don't know on what. There's still a lot of things going on. Yes, there's a horse up there they're going to use. For Nick Guy,
because what's the sorrel horse that he uses? What's the sorrel that goes behind? Yeah, always has his tongue out the side. You ever seen that?
That's Curtis's horse, or I think that's Cody Cassie's horse, but that's what they use for Tyson. Yeah, what do they call that horse? I can't remember right now. Anyway, that horse I think they're going to take out there and start on. So
gotcha.
Anyway.
So anyways, so what's Nick Guy? What's he doing?
Last I heard, so there's a lot of stuff up in there. I don't know exactly. I don't know what he's doing. Austin Eller, I think they said he might be riding Austin Eller's horse, and Austin's hazing.
Have you ever liked a guy's horse, but not the haze?
Oh yeah.
This is going to get deep right here.
Yeah.
So how does that work? Let's say I got Benz 2.0, like I owned him the first time. Put it out there. Anyways, but I'm not that good at hazing. Obviously, this a scenario? Obviously, this is a hypothetical because I would obviously be a great hazer. But you're like, man, I like your horse. You're not going to be lining them for me. So is that a conversation you have with people?
So here's the deal with that, and it does happen. So if the person that owns the horse is smart enough to go, I don't really haze good enough. Take my horse, get your hazer. I'm going to make 12.5% and be happy. And then there's times where that person's like, nope, I'm hazing. So the bulldog goes, oh, all right. Takes him out there. And guess what that hazer who owns the horse makes? 0. So it's not just on the bulldog side. It's on the owner's side to be smart enough to realize
to understand
the whole job done. And that's the thing. You might have a great horse and a great rider, but your hazer is damn sure 50% of the equation, as well.
And that's what a lot of guys talk about out there. And because, and I think it's just like the heading, the hazing at the NFR is so different than anywhere else.
And I'll say this, you could have an average steer wrestling horse and a great haze horse, and it'll make that average steer wrestling horse look amazing. Yeah. But if you have an amazing steer wrestling horse and an average haze horse, it's going to do the opposite effect.
Let me ask you this. When you haze at the national finals, do we race to the cow? Or do you want your guy a little bit ahead of it, picking the steer up, maybe a touch? Or do we just...
When you haze at the NFR, you just hope you're in the damn picture.
Really?
I got to haze there 1 year for Les Jefferson, and he won the average that year. I'm just saying it because, anyway, Daddy got them all hazed.
Brush that off a little.
I was in third place, probably 7 out of the 10 runs. I mean, it's so fast. When they nod, you better hope your horse is firing off the corner, and then it's just head down whipping, and hopefully you're in the picture. Now, if you have a steer that's real average, which, sometimes you get those out there, then you feel like, oh, that was still not easy, but I was there. So
now did Tally make it this year? He did, didn't he?
Yeah, he went in, I don't know, 9th, 10th. And I believe Remy is going out there to haze for him. So,
well, I know you're dying to know, but let's talk a little bit. We got a national finals coming up here pretty quick, Luke.
We do?
The national finals of steer roping.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
And who is your pick now? So kind of like the national finals of Breakaway, different deal. And Casey was talking about putting that on the fantasy deal. I don't know if that ever came out, but I'm sure it didn't.
I don't know if it did either.
Do you ever watch the steer roping finals?
I don't.
Yeah. Okay.
Who's your pick?
That was fun. Man, obviously, Cole Patterson shatters he breaks the record again. Cole Patterson is amazing, right? Like I never watched him rope calves a whole lot, right? But he wasn't like Shad Mayfield of roping calves. You know what I'm saying? And then all the other events he did, he was, good, but not Cole Patterson in the steer roping. Like it is the most amazing thing you've ever seen. If you appreciate good steer roping at all. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Garrett Hale.
Garrett Hale. Hey, he's been on fire. He just won the Fiesta.
Yes, he did. See, I pay attention to this stuff.
Yeah, I don't. What's weird is they run 5 a day, and you don't do that as a steer roper, right? Like you never run that many, and so it's funny how like Scott Snedeker has horse of the year last year, and even old Goose starts backing off a little bit, getting a little short in his pull. It's interesting to watch. I'm excited. I'm going to try to go up there this year. My buddy Jess Tierney's made it. Billy Good, and I'm going to try to go help those guys out, maybe kick the box down, just kind of be their helper. And then there for moral support. And I want to figure out where we pick our buckles up for next year.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I'm saying?
Figure it out. Exactly.
Get that fire. I never went to a per for the national finals that I have not been entered. Like I've never sat in the stands and watched it ever. Even whenever we went to Arlington in 18 when I was helping the Cowboy Channel, like, they'd be like, you want to take us to rodeo tonight? Absolutely not. No, 14.5-inch coats. That's what I ride. That's what I sit in at the Thomas and Mack, right? So I'm excited this year to go watch them. Yeah, it's a 14.5. It doesn't have a seat in it, but it's fine. Whatever.
But it just helps you stay to the front. I get it.
Yeah, keeps me glued in there, man. What is your breakaway pick?
Huh?
What's your breakaway pick?
Oh, Martha. I'm going to go with Martha.
Really? Wow. Shelby Bosley's winning the world?
Yeah.
My girl, Haley Williams, and you're coming Martha Angeloni. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. You know what? Haley Bug had a little horse accident there, and she's been a little banged up.
You got had her ankle or something, right?
Yeah. And, but it sounds like we're doing pretty good. Yeah, I know. That's the part that can tear you down. Okay. Yeah. That's the part that can hold you back, that ankle. But she'll be back to practicing, it sounds like, in Thanksgiving. So I don't know if you know them or not. I can't imagine her not.
Know them. They're like an hour from my house now.
Well, I'm saying if you've ever lived a day in the life of Williams' house, like, yes. I mean, I can't imagine her not being on the speed trainer and getting, at least getting some reps in.
Yeah.
Keeping her rope sharp. So I'm excited to see baby girl Haley Williams go out there for her first time.
I do too. I think that's so excited. Cool. I had her on the show. Special. Actually, I had her and Speed on the show, and it was really fun to have the conversation with them. I mean, you can see Speed just over there. It was good time.
Man, I cannot believe you did not have me sooner. So everybody says it's so funny because they're always like, "Man, you do such a good Speed Williams impression." Like I had my ass chewed a lot by him. You know what I mean? Coleman, that is not what we do to be prepared. Like I heard that a lot. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because when I talk all the time now about like Calgary. Whenever I walk in the box at Calgary and I got to catch the last one, got to be 11 seconds. And that was my nemesis, man. Like, go knock the steer down. That's what you're going to do. Go knock the steer down. They're going to pay you $14,000. Okay. Back in the day, I'd have been just, right? And I can just hear it in the back of my ear. It still just rings out. Hi, teamer. Better get a good start. Use your feet. Good angles. Right? Like I can still just hear it every time. And it's so funny because if you ever see me run a high teamer, you will see me smile because I can still hear Speedy in my ear just on me chirping, right? But that's honestly what's changed my life and made me great. And so anytime I do my Speed Williams impression, it is never from a place of ill will or making fun of him at all. It's always from a place of love because, man, he changed my life. And it's obviously what he's doing. You know, his boy rope's great. Heel's amazing. You expected that. And to see him, you know, help Haley so much in the breakaway, it just shows you how much that guy knows about roping. You know what I mean? It's about angles. It's about this. And what I love is anytime I have a student and their parent will say, well, I don't let him heel because it messes up their calf rope and swing, which messes up his head and swing, which messes up his heel and swing, right? And I love that, like Speedy, you know, people say, well, you're a team roper, you're not really a calf roper. Like, no, I know how to cut the neck off. Like, I can do that.
Right.
And it's always the same. It's always about good angles. It's always about good horsemanship and being on balance when you leave the box. And those are the things that Speedy's preached to me, and I've seen him preach it to a lot of people. And to change their careers around. And obviously you see it now with Haley Bug and how much success she's had. I mean, the foundation there has been amazing.
It's fun to watch her, and hopefully that ankle heals up good enough, which it will. It will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rapid fire before we end the show, Coleman. We're going to do, you and me, we're going to each pick a player in our fantasy pick. Bareback riding.
I feel like I need a list.
Nope, go. This is it. Oh, you're going to go ahead and Google it.
No, I just need can I get a list real fast? Can I have
got it. Ready? You ready? You ready?
Can you
Keenan Hayes, Clayton Bigelow, Cade Sunier, Tim O'Connell, Leighton Berry, Oren Larson, Rocker Steiner, Dean Thompson, Jaco Roper, Jess Pope.
I'm going Jaco Roper, man. Like he's an Okie. He's wild. I love all that about him.
Did you hear his interview on
who didn't hear his interview?
That was great.
No, okay, so if I go and like we're pretty close with all them. Honestly, that's going to be a fun event to watch. Richie Champion being back. I think if you had to get a bargain,
that's me.
So you already got Richie Champion.
Yep,
yeah, I'm going
him.
Jaco Roper, man.
Okay,
the energy in that building is going to light him up.
Bronco Buston, Stetson Wright, Sage Newman, Cade Bruno, Zeke Thurston, Dawson Hay, Ben Anderson, Ryder Wright, Wyatt Casper, Chase Brooks, Leighton Green, Tanner Butner, Brody Crest, Damian Brennan, Lefty Holman, Ryder Sanford. Rookie.
Man, I'm going. Do I get to pick first on this one or no?
I'm going to pick first. I'm going to go Brody.
You can't pick first every time. It's not even fair.
You picked first last time.
I'm going to go Wyatt Casper.
Wyatt. Okay. You're picking.
What's our next event?
Well, I mean, I'm just going in the order of the rough stock of the PRC website, which bothers me. I wish they would do it like in event order.
That's a great point.
Bull riding, Stetson Wright, Kyle Hamilton, Josh Frost, Tristan Hutchins, Trey Holston, Creek Young, Hayes
Sage
Wade.
Kimsey.
Okay.
Do I get to pick him?
Yeah.
Did he make it? Okay, so is he in? Did he get to enough of them?
He's in. He's in.
What? These are awesome picks for down the. I mean, like that's a 10th. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy, isn't it?
Okay, I'm going Stetson.
You're going Stetson, right? Oh, so you're using your number one pick right there.
Yeah, right there.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Steer wrestling.
Ooh, baby. This is your event. Was your event.
Oh, I get to pick
Man,
first.
I'll tell you what sucks is Jesse Brown's my dog. That's my guy. That's who I always pick. He's always on my fantasy team. But, man, I don't know if I can afford second. You know what I mean?
I'm going to Dirk Tavener, just in case you're wondering.
You're going Dirk.
Yeah.
Hey, that guy bounced back this year, didn't he? Come off the injury. He did a great job.
In May, came back in May with $0 won.
That's so awesome. Man, it's kind of hard. And I tell you what's tough about this fantasy deal, though, is we're not able to keep up with our money, right? So if I had to pick in the 11th, I'd kind of thinking Talley. I think Jacob Talley or Bridger Anderson. I would wager between which one I could afford. Bridger Anderson, obviously, we're Northwestern alumni together.
You want Tallywacker or Bridger?
Well, which one can I afford? I'm going to go Tally. Okay, I'm going to go Jacob Tally. So we're just making up our own deal. We can pick whatever we want, or we got to stay wherever
we want. No, we can pick
then I'm going Will Loomis.
Oh,
Will Loomis then. Yeah.
Okay, Will.
So there's no actual like money cap deal right now.
Okay, now I know. Team roping. You going to go you and Logan?
Man, I feel like I'm on my reality team, so.
Okay, I'm going to go with.
I think we go with the rule that you can't pick yourself.
No, well, I can't pick myself anyway, so you could pick yourself. Right. I'm going to go with Clay Smith and his partner.
Okay, well, I'm absolutely taking myself.
Yeah. Okay.
Me and my partner.
You and your partner, the guy that helped you in the all-around?
Yeah.
Tie down roping. I'm going to read them off. It's Riley Webb, Shad Mayfield, Haven, Shane, Ty, Weston, Caleb, Corey, Kincaid, Blaine, Bo, Brushton, John, Hunter, and Tough Cooper.
Do you know Blaine Cox just got engaged the other day?
Congratulations. No, I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, he got engaged to my partner's sister.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Wasn't that a cool deal? That was neat. Yeah.
Wait. I pick first.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Schmidt.
Man, I'm doing Riley Webb. I got to talk to that young man, and I love his attitude. God has never made him more of a winner. You know what I mean?
True.
The only thing that scares me about him a little bit is he's such a lead. Is his attitude going to change? But I think he'll just go at every one of them every night. And I think I'm going Riley Webb.
Okay. Barrel racing. Your pick first.
Man, how do you not? Okay, can I just say, like, side note, is Brittany Posey not the greatest of all time? She has to be the GOAT, right?
Pretty impressive.
Like, to make the national finals that many different times on that many different horses, right? Like, I don't think you can measure it. Like, don't get me wrong, obviously, Charmaine James, Scamper, 10 in a row, you know, amazing. But when I was reading about how many horses she made it on, how many different times, like, she's the greatest of all time. Like, it's just amazing. I'm going Jordan Briggs, man. Her husband and I are going to go play some golf, I'm sure. Jordan Briggs.
I'm going to go surprise with my BFF.
Haley Kinsel. Sue Smith.
Okay, here it is. Coleman's team, Jaco Roper, Will Loomis, himself and Logan. Riley Webb, Jordan Briggs, and Sage Kimsey.
Well, then hold on. Now that I know
you picked. That's it.
I love it. These are my guys.
Gosh.
These are my guys. I love it.
Luke, Richie Champion, Dirk Taverner, Clay Smith, Brody Kress, Caleb Schmidt, Haley the Kinsel, and Stetson Wright. That's it. It's all documented. Winner gets $10,000 from the guy competing at the national finals. So anyway,
that feels like a great idea.
I agree.
Feels amazing. Are we going to put some skin on this game? Like, we got to come up with something good.
What do you want?
Come up with something good. Like, I would never get a tattoo because my dad would still kill me.
Not doing
38 years old. Yeah, so we're not doing that. We're not doing needles.
No.
We got to think of something great, like a polar bear plunge. Like Loser does a polar bear plunge.
This episode's coming out. NFR preview. We'll get some comments on there, and we'll pick.
Yes, we need a wager. Yeah.
So for all you folks out there watching, Coleman and I have our fantasy team picked, and we need to figure out what the loser gets or gives, what the winner gets. So put your comments in the post below or in the post.
What do they want to see right here? What do they want to see?
Yeah. What do you want? Let us know, and it'll be amazing.
Awesome.
Coleman, thank you for all the insight on the team ropers. Anybody watching the show,
thanks for having me, man.
Should get some good insight for their fantasy team. Man, obviously, I'm rooting for you, and I'm so happy that you and I will be on the Purina pre-show out front of the Thomas and Mack 4 to 4:30 every night. You're going to be getting mentally prepared for the championships you're going to win. And I'm going to be there just, helping you along.
Doing what we do.
That's
doing
it.
what we do. I'm really excited about it, Luke. And I got to say, man, can you believe it's going to be our 5th year? Is that right? 5 years? 4 years? How many years is it going to be? 20, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 4 years. 4 years. Can you believe that?
Just feels like forever.
Feels like yesterday we got started. Hey, that's been a lot of fun. And I really enjoyed it. And I enjoy getting to hang out with you every night. And I really do appreciate the motivation you give me each and every night and the things that we talk about. You know, I'm really taking that in my preparation now as we get ready here for the next 6 weeks. And we're back on our fasting schedule. We're going to be down trim. Ankles going to be feeling good. Horses are going to be firing.
We're going to need a different size jacket, though, for us. That sports coat they got us for last year. I could fit 2 of me in it now. So
you just want to switch?
Coleman, thanks for joining me, man.
I'm pretty sure I found.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you having me on.
Good luck. Looking forward to seeing you out there. Time for some more rodeo trivia. In steer wrestling, what is the term of the horse that helps the steer wrestler keep the steer running straight? That horse is called the haze horse, and the man on his back is called the hazer.